Hello and welcome to another Star Wars The Old Republic guide. In this guide I'm going to be telling you about how to play Combat Carnage, whether it be on the Republic side or the Imperial side. It's pretty simple. This is going to be one of the easiest guides I'm going to go over. So yeah, let's just take a quick look. So if you're under your combat styles here and you've got Marauder or Sentinel picked and you want to play Carnage or Combat, all you have to do is go in here, click on the button for Fury or Concentration, depending on what side you're on, and then go watch my guide on how to play Fury Concentration. That's it. It used to be a spec that people enjoyed and people had fun with, but in 7.0 as it stands right now, there really is no reason at all to be playing this class. It's just not a class that's worth playing, Combat Carnage at all. You should be playing Concentration or Fury instead. It basically does everything better. So they've made it so that Combat and Carnage is just not a good spec to play anymore, which really does suck for those players who used to like it. But yeah, it's just so low on the damage charts compared to all of the other options that you have available to you as a Sentinel. You could definitely get away with playing Annihilation Watchman Sentinel instead. A lot of people really do like playing that class. If you're into more endgame raiding type of content, that is probably the better class to pick and the better class to play. And where are these clickable things? So when it comes to the reasons why I'm telling you not to play Combat or Carnage is simply they've just nerfed it to the point where it's just not that good anymore. It's not a class that's worth picking up, it's not a class that's worth playing, and the reason why I'm suggesting that you play Concentration or Fury instead is because both those classes are basically a burst class. They play very similar, and you're going to have, you know, an easier time as a newer player playing them. Now, if you are into doing hardcore endgame type of content where you have an actual team and you've got your tank and other stuff like that, and enemies take quite a while to kill, definitely look into Annihilation or Watchman, as that is generally a better spec overall. It's a little bit harder to learn, but it has a lot more utility that's attached to it, as well as doing very comparable and good damage when we're competing against Concentration and Fury. But yeah, Concentration Fury in 7.0, they made it even easier to play. It does exceptionally high levels of damage, which makes it very good. And on top of that, like, they just, yeah, it's burst. Like, it's so easy. When we're killing all of these little low enemies, I don't have to worry about putting dots on enemies, ramping up. I don't really have to worry too much about, like, hey, you know, do I have the energy for this or not? So overall, it's just a great experience to play, and I highly suggest it. We are going to keep this video going for a little bit longer, just as kind of like an anti-spoiler kind of thing. You know, just so that people think that maybe there is an actual guide in here. Who knows? They probably won't be fooled by it anyways, right? But that way, you know, when they click through, they think, oh man, this is actually going to be a guide on this class I like. So I definitely want to apologize for anybody who actually does want to learn how to play this class, and I'm not giving you a guide, as, yeah, I really just don't suggest it. You really should just swap over to Concentration or Fury. End of story. But if for some reason you'd rather do Annihilation Watchman, that is also a great option as well. Just be aware that when you're doing this easier, kind of lower level content, you're going to have a little bit of a harder time when it comes to... Just keep in mind that when you are doing this lower level, easier content, you're going to have a little bit of a harder time trying to play that class instead, because it is a dot class. There's a few more things that you're going to have to learn as a result, right? So let's say that you do want some tips on how to play. As you can see right now, this character is only a level 46. So he's missing a lot of things that would make him really good, right? Or be able to follow the actual rotation that's laid out in the guide, stuff like that. So what do we want to think about? So the main thing to realize is energy management is the only thing that really makes this class challenging in one way or another. So it's all about how can you do that energy management. I can't believe I skipped those ads. That was amazing, that jump. Look at that. They're not even attacking me, those idiots down there. So yeah, anyways, as I was saying, energy management is the main thing, right? You can just click buttons that are off cooldown, but you're going to run out of energy. So the important thing to know is Battering Assault is your main way of gaining energy, and Berserk as well. So this would be Zen on the pub side and Zealous Strike, I believe it's called. These two things gain you energy. Battering Assault, Zealous Strike, you gain actual energy when you use the attack. Berserk or Zen, you're going to gain energy when you use the attack, and you're going to gain additional energy over time while it's active.
Transmitting the Republic Caravan transponder frequencies now.
Good hunting.
Good hunting, I agree. Hunting is good. Whoa, where the hell am I going? I'm going to go all the way down here before I go back to the base. So yeah, those are your two main energy things. There are a couple other things that are important to the class once you get yourself to a higher level and you can do more of the rotation. So there are some things that make some of your abilities free and reduce the cooldown, and that's why the rotation has been built the way it has, and you'll see that in the guide. I won't explain exactly why it happens, but that's why certain abilities are in a certain order, right? So we need to have a Ravage outside of a different window than our Force Scream, I believe it is. I don't know, it's something like that, but generally at the slower level, one of the things you want to think about is this ability is really fun if you pick the pub side version of the character. So if you pick a Sentinel instead of a Marauder, as of right now, it's a great ability to use. And there's this thing called Furious Rumination, which also lets you generate a lot of energy very easily, making the class a lot more forgiving to play than it ever used to be. So yeah, in general, you know, I've got a little bit of extra AoE in there. It's not the best AoE class, that's for sure, but because it's a burst class and it doesn't have to rely on dot ramp up, it's just simply like, as you kill enemies, as you do damage to enemies, they just take a lot of damage and they die, right? You don't have to think about too much else. It also has some decent side abilities available to it, you know, some nice little bit of this, a little bit of that. Well, anyways, I think that this video has been long enough so that, you know, the surprise isn't spoiled, hopefully, until people actually click on the video and watch it. But you never know with that pesky YouTube preview thing they do now, where you don't even have to watch a video, you can just watch the preview and the subtitles right from the homepage or whatever it is, right? Alright guys, until next time, have a great day. Wait, did I say that wrong? Probably. And we'll see you in the next video.